Sri Lanka has got the hosting rights for the 2017 Asian Youth Games. The government has announced that it has not taken a decision to ban import of certain Indian goods. The Minister of External Affairs says that the President's visit to Britain helped alleviate foreign misconceptions about Sri Lanka. Settling of people in the Rambakan Oya project has started. And news overseas, Spain's foreign loans have increased in a very critical manner.
On to those and other stories in detail now. Sri Lanka has been officially offered the hosting rights of holding the 3rd Asian Youth Sports Festival in 2017. The President of the Asian Olympic Committee, Prince Sheikh Fahad Al Sabah, announced this today. The National Olympic Committee informed that this will be the largest international sports festival to be held in Sri Lanka so far.
The President of the Asian Olympic Council, Sheikh Ahmed Fahad Al Sabah, who is on a tour in Sri Lanka, met President Mahinda Rajapaksa at Temple Trees this morning. It has been decided to hold the 3rd Asian Youth Games in 2017 Hambantota. Prince Al Sabah has come to Sri Lanka to make this announcement officially. The new sports zone will be developed adjacent to the Hambantota Economic Zone. The Asian Youth Games is held once in 4 years. The first festival was held in Singapore in the year 2009. The second will be held in Nanjing, China next year. 45 countries will participate in this event. Generally, over 5,000 athletes and officials take part in youth sports festival. There is a stern competition among countries to host international sports events with the objective of developing the tourism and sports. 5 countries, including Sri Lanka, bid to host the 2017 Asian Youth Games. Attending a media briefing in Colombo today, the President of the Asian Olympic Committee, Sheikh Ahmed Fahad Al Sabah, announced that the host nation of 2018 Asian Youth Games is Sri Lanka.
After the visit, I have more confidence about the will and the seriousness of the leader of the country and the citizens to host a very special event. For that, what I can do before I go to the General Assembly, I can guarantee Sri Lanka will be hoster of the youth game, and we will be ready also to give the beach game if Sri Lanka is willing to host it.
Minister Mahindananda Alutgamuge said that this is very important for Sri Lanka.
We are deeply committed in promoting Sri Lanka as a sporting destination and look forward in hosting sporting events which will no doubt help us in building a sporting culture amongst the young children in Sri Lanka.
Major sports events will enhance the brand image of our country, especially for the development of sports and youth. We believe we were able to convince you, Your Highness, that Sri Lanka deserves most consideration in this respect as against the countries that have held major events before in Asia.
In recognition of Sheikh Ahmed Fahad Al Sabah's visit to Sri Lanka, a special stamp and first day cover were issued. Parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa and officials of Ministry of Sports and Sri Lanka Tourism attended the function.
Well, the government announced that the Cabinet of Ministers has not taken any decision to ban the import of certain goods from India. Certain media have published a report saying that such a decision was taken at the last Cabinet meeting. This was announced by the Cabinet spokesman, Minister Kehelia Rambukwella, at the Cabinet decision announcing media conference held today. Minister Kehlia Rabukwala said that the cabinet did not discuss about a particular country and it discussed about the trade pacts between SAARC countries. It has been considered that the bilateral trade pacts should be reviewed from time to time. For instance, he said that Sri Lanka is an agricultural country and if there is an impact to local agriculture, steps should be taken to prevent such impacts. The minister said that it could be Pakistan, India, Maldives or any other SAARC country. He said the suggestion was presented to the cabinet was that the discussions should be held with the parties to such agreements. The minister also expressed opinion about fuel prices.
There is a disparity in the purchasing and stocking because you can't buy like a loaf of bread, go to the market in the open market and buy a bread and sell it out. It is something that you stock it for about maybe 6 months, 3 months, quarterly. So you buy it at X price. Right now the position is, I think my colleague Honorable Sushil Premchand, the minister, has made it very clear because you can't overnight just because it came down to something like 98 or now yesterday it had slightly gone up. Right, and then it could have an upward trend by tomorrow day after. British government for providing our president the best of everything, including all logistic affairs, all arrangements. There are also, I must say in the same breath, that there have been some failure in the part of the Commonwealth Secretariat, the Business Forum, where they should have, that's my view, that they should have taken some action on the basis of a protest by a proscribed group. Right to speech, right to protest, all that is embedded in the democratic fabric.
Vehicles and equipment required for removal of human and other waste has been donated to the Colombo Municipal Council. The Asian Development Bank has provided financial assistance in this regard. 4 vehicles worth 164 million rupees were handed over yesterday under the Greater Colombo Wastewater Management Project. The function in this regard was held yesterday under the patronage of Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa at the Roxy Gardens in Vallavata. Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa said that everything has been done to uplift the living standards of the people. He said that if things were not done properly, the service needed by the people cannot be fulfilled. He said those who come to the country, especially tourists and investors, come to Colombo first, and it's only after viewing Colombo that they go to other places. It is from Colombo that they get the impression about the country. Therefore, he said that it is very essential to develop the city of Colombo.
මූලික හැඟීමක් ඇති කරගන්න. ඒ නිසා කොළඹ නගරය තා දියුණු තත්ත්වයකින් තිබීම ඉතාමත්ම අත්‍යවශ්‍ය වන කාරණා.
The Minister of Local Government and Provincial Councils, ALM Ataula, Deputy Minister Indika Bandaranaike and the Mayor of Colombo, AJM Muzamil, also attended the function.
Well, the Minister of External Affairs, Professor G.L. Piris, said that President Mahinda Rajapaksa's visit to Britain immensely helped alleviate many misconceptions held by the international community about Sri Lanka. He said that this tour was a good opportunity to respond to the malicious misinformation being carried out by the pro-Tiger terrorist elements.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa participated in the Golden Jubilee celebrations of Queen Elizabeth II on a special invitation made from the British government. During the visit, the President was able to meet the Queen Elizabeth thrice and to hold discussions. The President also met the British Prime Minister David Cameron and the opposition leader of Britain, Ed Miliband. Minister Professor G.L. Piris says that during these meetings they were enlightened about the current situation of Sri Lanka.
The visit served the very useful purpose, a very salutary purpose of enabling us to meet head-on the false propaganda that is being spread about this country and to convey to the British government at its highest levels the truth about current initiatives in this country in respect of development, in respect of reconciliation and all the other objectives that we are working towards in the current situation. That was a uniquely valuable opportunity.
Foreign Secretary Karnatilaka Amanugama said steps will be taken to provide special security for people's representatives and government officials travelling to Tamil Nadu. He said that the support of the Indian government will be obtained for this purpose. The Foreign Secretary made these comments in response to a question raised by media personnel about the incident faced by Minister Reginald Kure in Tamil Nadu at a media conference held yesterday. Foreign Secretary Karnatilaka Amanugama said that if a minister or a special guest is visiting India, it will be informed to the central government of India, and through them it will be informed to the state government. The necessary instructions will be provided in this manner. The recent incident of Minister Kure was also handled in this manner. These incidents do not occur every day. He said that certain groups in Tamil Nadu were looking for opportunities to create incidents like this, waiting for some important Sri Lankan personality to visit the state. He said these elements are holding demonstrations as a part of their political principles. However, he said that we do not have any misunderstanding with India over this incident. You're watching the news on Rupa Vahini. We go in for a short commercial break. Do stay with us as
Welcome back, and we move on to more local news. 2 persons died in a vehicle accident today in front of the St. Anthony's Church in Jampeta Street in Kotahena, Colombo. Those who died were a 70-year-old woman and a baby of 8 months. The vehicle had run off the road and collided with those who had come to attend the church feast. Meanwhile, vehicle accidents have been reported from several other parts of the country as well. A private bus carrying school children met with an accident near the Andrupatha roundabout on the Kegol Kurunagalam main road, and 30 students have been injured and admitted to Kegol Hospital. The bus had collided with another vehicle and fallen to a precipice. At the time of the accident, there had been 40 students in the bus. A small lorry going towards Hasalaka from Mahiyangana met with an accident in the Pallevatta area. There had been 3 persons in the lorry at the time of the accident. The police informed that one of the persons has been injured. The people of Mahiyangana have expressed displeasure for not reconstructing the bridge over the Mana Oya in Minipe, which was broken down nearly 3 years ago. Sorry, I beg your pardon. We move on to the next item, which is about the Kochikade feast. President Mahinda Rajapaksa has donated a land for St. Anthony's Church of Kochikade, Colombo. An Ashirvada Puja in this connection was held yesterday. The procession carrying the statue of St. Anthony's ended yesterday. The feast started on the 3rd of June. His Eminence Cardinal Dr. Malcolm Ranjith held the sermon on the 9th of this month. A large number of devotees attended the special services held yesterday. During these services, blessings were invoked on the President for donating a land to the church. The settlement of people under the Rambakan Oya project has started. Up to now, 80 families have been settled in the low-lying settlement area. Issue of water from the Rambakan Oya project is scheduled to be held in August this year. 85% of the construction work of the project has been completed. The minimum amount of 35,000 rupees have been given to each family that was settled. The Mahavali authority said that each family was also given 2.5 acres of land. Those who lost lands and are without licenses will be given 2 acres for cultivation. 6 tanks have been constructed under the project. Construction of canals and anicuts have also been completed.
Well, we now move on to the trading details of the Colombo Stock Exchange today. The all-share price index increased by 77.23 points to close at 4,923.02, while the Milanka price index increased by 77.68 to close at 4,381.57 at the Colombo Stock Exchange today. Daily turnover was reported at 0.4 billion rupees. International news comes your way next. Do stay with us.
We move on to news overseas now. Spain borrowing costs have risen to another Euro-era record, with lenders demanding a higher interest rate. The yield on benchmark 10-year bonds hit 7% yesterday morning, a level which many analysts believe is unsustainable in the long term. It came as Moody's cut Spain's credit rating to one notch above the junk and ahead of an Italian bond auction. Italy also saw borrowing costs rise, selling bonds repayable in 3 years with a yield of 5.3%, up from 3.9% at the weekend. Spain agreed a €100 billion bailout of its banks by fellow Eurozone countries. It was hoped that the bailout would help calm fears in the financial markets about the strength of Spain's banks and ease Madrid's borrowing costs.
And now on to some international stories in brief now.
British Prime Minister David Cameron tells that the relationship between the press and politicians has gone bad. He made these remarks when he was answering in the Leveson inquiry today at court.
The evidence has been put forward.
A raging wildfire tears through forested mountains north of Denver, Colorado. It has engulfed scores of buildings and one person is reported missing. Tokyo Toy Show kicks off by challenging Guinness records and companies. The 4-day event will consist nearly 35,000 products of 144 manufacturers around the world. Famous stuntman Nick Wallenda will challenge himself once again by walking across the Niagara Falls on a 2-inch diameter cable unharnessed. He said it would take 30 to 40 minutes. A very warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining with me, Nitya Saraj Chandra, for your latest updates from the sports world. Today, it's all about rugby. In the rugby match played between the Ceylon rugby team and the Sri Lanka Army team, the Ceylon rugby team was successful in winning the match after a tough encounter. The match was played at the Diagama Mahinda Rajapaksa International Stadium. In the first half of the match, the Sri Lanka Army team scored 15 points. The Ceylon rugby team was able to get only 5 points. In the second half, however, the Ceylon rugby team was able to score several tries and obtain 12 points. The match ended with 22-20 with victory for the Ceylon rugby team.
And that's it on the news tonight. Thank you for watching. Do join us again tomorrow night at the same time. Good night.
Good night.